So tried recording this when I was real tired. That did not work. So I'm trying again, now that I'm rested. And it's actually daylight, so I can actually see myself on this recording. I want to talk about making interesting barbarians. Or just creating a barbarian, if you want to play a barbarian. Making a barbarian NPC, if you want to write about a barbarian. Or just know about some cool stuff about barbarians, because barbarians are cool. So, you want to play a barbarian, or make a barbarian NPC, and you want to make it interesting for you and for others. For me, the most effective way to do that is to take inspiration from existing sources and maybe put your own twist on it. Now, this is not meant to tell you how to play. This is a video merely meant to inspire, or get you to read a few books you haven't read, or maybe watch a movie or anime you haven't seen. So here are the characters I draw inspiration from when I make barbarians. Let's get the obvious one out of the way. Could go for all categories, really. Conan, the Barbarian.
Let me tell you of the days of high adventure.
Conan of Chimeria. Both the old and the new. I recommend watching them both. The old is better with Arnold, but the one with Momoa is good too. I recommend watching the old one with Arnold at least once a year, like I do.
Conan, what is best in life? To crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and to hear the lamentation of their women. That is good.
Talking about Conan. He's in books, he's in movies, he's in comics. He's kind of the embodiment of the sword and sorcery genre. But in the D&D sense, it's important to remember he has at least one level in Rogue. Because he's kind of a thief. He's a big burly thief, climbing into towers and stealing stuff. It's my favorite part of the movie. They're scaling the tower.
What on earth could smell so bad?
Do you want to live forever?
Now, he also has all of the staples that a barbarian usually has, not necessarily only using his rage in a D&D sense, but he worships a war god. He worships Grom. And he looks for the answer to the riddle of steel. He has a bit of a tragic backstory, as is a common denominator, as we'll see through this list. He's battle-born. In some tales, he's born on the battlefield itself during a big fight. He also becomes a bit of a lone wanderer through his tales. That's a common trope for barbarians as well. A few friends or alone on adventures. He has the big burly physique, especially if you see the art from Frank Frazetta, the cover arts. Fantastic artist, fantastic art. if you hear the word barbarian, your mind usually goes to Conan quickly. There are other characters as well, great characters. Let's go over to one from anime. It's Orison from Record of Lodo's War. Orson is possessed by Fury, a spirit of war and rage, and he can no longer feel emotion. When Orson was young, there was an attack on his village, his sister was killed, and he was cornered in a barn by a bunch of goblins. It's the first time Fury came upon him, and he embodied that rage, and he killed those goblins single-handedly with the help of Fury, some might say. But she also works as sort of a curse. That's another thing that's gonna permeate through this. The barbarian rage as a curse is a common trope. He travels with Shiri. Is that her name? Shiri? Shiris? She's kind of his only companion. They go on mercenary missions together. And she's the only one that can sort of keep his rage in check when Fury takes over. Because he cannot distinguish friend from foe when his rage is going. Orson, great character, highly underrated character, I think. Some might say he's flat because he cannot feel emotion, but that's sort of his whole story arc. He's trying to regain his emotions and stuff, which is interesting in itself. Could be interesting for a character. Record of Lodo's War was also originally a D&D campaign that was turned into an anime. The characters were player characters at some point by those creators, which is very cool. I recommend Record of Lodo's War. It's a bit dated, but it's still very good. Holds up. Then over to another character, Dark Wolf from Fire and Ice by Ralph Bakshi. Also drawn by Frank Frazetta. Looks really cool with that pelt on his head. More kind of like a Ranger Barbarian multiclass. He might be Ranger Barbarian multiclass. A cool inspiration for one, at least. Also often depicted with some animals with him. So if I'm gonna make a Ranger Barbarian, I would make something like Dark Wolf. He's kind of a side character. More simply revenge motivated than most other people on this list. An assistant to them. He's a sidekick, sort of, that comes to their aid. A very powerful character on his own. He's more goal-oriented than many of the others. He's not like Conan, just wandering around or sitting on his throne brooding. Dark Wolf, another good movie character to take inspiration from. There's of course lots of other movie characters. When Conan came out, there was this boom of sword and sorcery movies in the 80s and early 90s. They were all so some of them are pretty bad. Many of them are also good on their own, stand on their own. But none of them embody the barbarian as much as Conan does. So I don't I don't draw on inspiration from them as much as I do from Conan. Now, for books, if you want to read about barbarians. For me, there's one character that comes to mind immediately. I think about fantasy barbarian in a book. That is The Bloody Nine from the First Law trilogy by Joe Abercrombie. About 15 years ago, when I was around 20, I was injured. I was stuck on a sofa for 8 months, recovering. And I had run out of games to play, I ran out of movies to watch, series to watch, and I was bored. I was at a bookshop looking for some drawing supplies, I think, and a book cover caught my eye. Because I thought it looked kind of cool, looked kind of like old maps on sitting on the shelf. They looked kind of like this. They look like this. And I thought they were the coolest book covers I've ever seen. This is my signed copy of Red Country from Joe Abercrombie. I got that from a friend of mine. Yeah, he gave it to me. Very nice gift. I saw that book cover, and I saw there were 3 books for the price of 2. So I thought, might as well. I'm out of all other forms of entertainment, so I picked it up. And before I read The Blade itself, the first book in that trilogy, I'd only read The Hobbit at school and a few other Norwegian books. Not terribly interesting. Didn't really get into reading at all. That was never something I thought I'd spend my time doing. But I slowly made my way through the first book. I slowly read my way through The Blade itself. I was hooked. It didn't take me long to finish the whole trilogy. Much more depth than I expected. And that's where I learned about the Bloody Nine. Now, in The Blade itself, Bloody Nine is talked more about like a hero sometimes, and other talks about him like a monster. It's sort of seen as both war hero and or a hero of battles, but and also just bloodlust-filled monster. Because when the Bloody Nine do appear in the book, things die. Good or bad, friend or foe, does not matter. He is the great leveler, come to send those that are alive back to the mud. Great character. I recommend Joe Abercrombie's books. I've read all of them. They are great. And if you want to read something dark, gritty, and funny, they're the best. Top notch. Over to another character. There is Agar Dragonbane from The Steel Remains by Richard Morgan. It is this book. Now, Richard Morgan, he's also the guy that wrote the Altered Carbon books, Takeshi Novak novels. His more famous work, I think. But The Steel Remains, The Cold Commands, and The Dark Defiles are all great books. And all 3 main characters are great. But today I'm going to talk about Agar Dragonbane. Now, Agar is a steppe barbarian. I think more Khal Drogo, less Conan. Khal Drogo with wielding a battle lance or spear. That's his whole deal. Now, Agar is a war veteran. He's also called Dragonbane because he killed a dragon during that war. And after his success, he's become sort of a chieftain character in his tribe. but he's extremely bored with it. He's not a man made for comfort. He's a man made for excitement and battle. So he's not taking to his new role, and is way excited to jump at the chance at doing something else. He's a kind of a character that chooses friendship and adventure over duty or anything like that. And a barbarian true and true during his adventures. He's not so plagued by rage as the other characters on this list, but he's a barbarian nonetheless. The way he fights, the way he talks, the way he thinks, it's all barbarian. Great character. I recommend all 3 books. They are fantastic. Now some D&D characters, some Forgotten Realms characters specifically. They have some good barbarians in the lore. First up is Fyodor of Rashman from Starlight and Shadows by Elaine Cunningham. Also surprisingly good books. They were much better than I expected. I thought they were going to be kind of a rehash of the Drizzt books, but they were not. So Fyodor is unable to control his berserker rages that the Rashman berserker uses in battle. He is cast out and given a blunt sword and sent on his java, his pilgrimage, to find a relic that can help him not be a danger to those around him anymore. Because as a Rashman berserker, his purpose is to protect his Viklal, his witch. Fyodor, his rages are one of those uncontrollable rages, where he goes berserk. But he's more, as a character, he's more of a storyteller. Maybe take inspiration from him if you want to play a charismatic barbarian. He always tells stories, and he's kind of ruggedly handsome. And he has the cool catchphrase. He always calls Lyriel, which is a drow spellcaster that he follows around. Always call a little raven with that Rashimi flex. It is it's a good character. It's fun. I liked Fyodor very much, and those two bounce off each other. Very good. Lyriel, Banray, and Fyodor. They kind of bounce off each other in a very great way in those books. I recommend them. Also, Fyodor puts the bear in Berserker, if you know what I mean. Then also from the Forgotten Realms, there is Wulfgar from The Legend of Drizzt, by R.A. Salvatore. Wulfgar is also a steppe barbarian. He's a steppe barbarian turned drunken bouncer. That's what he is. He's always driven, even from a young age, by a desire to prove himself in battle, to win the favor of Tempus, his war god. It's his Crom. Wielding that magical warhammer you got from Brunor, swinging that around, hammer of returning, throwing it at his foes. He's haunted by torturous memories. I won't go into spoilers, but he's kind of a conflicted character. At many points in the story, he's struggling with his anger and controlling himself, and alcoholism at some point, which is a funny weakness to have as a barbarian. Alcoholism, because you might have all that muscle, but you also might be totally useless because you're a drunk. So, yeah. You have to use reckless attack to balance being drunk to fight. Personal mention for me, one of my favorite kind of barbarian characters. It's easy to jump to, when you think barbarian, to think Norse barbarian, like a Norse berserker. But all Norse weren't necessarily berserkers. I think Norse is, you can have a Norse guy be a fighter or a thief or a priest or whatever. It's not necessarily the first thing my mind jumps to, but there is one. It is the one I think about is Snorri Snagason from the Red Queen's War, Mark Lawrence. This book, Prince of Fools by Mark Lawrence, it introduces Snorri. Great book. Mark Lawrence is the guy that wrote Prince of Thorns as well. He's a good writer. He writes fast. He's written a lot. Now Snorri is a more calm and collected, even jovial character at times, but is still driven by his deep anger and sorrow, and his desire for revenge. And his determination and skill makes him a formidable warrior. He still embodies that barbarian spirit in the way he fights, in the way he's a tank on the battlefield, and in this story, honorary mention goes out to Prince Jalad, because he's got at least one level in Barbarian as well, which is funny. Him and Snorri bounces off each other greatly. They're a great duo. Those are my favorite books from Mark Lawrence. Those two are just great fun characters. Great inspiration. His world building in those books as well is a very great inspiration. I think those are my main Barbarian characters in books. I recommend reading them. If you can read a book, maybe listen to an audiobook if you don't want to read. They're a great inspiration. I recommend it wholeheartedly. Now over to some games. There is of course the obvious one, Kratos from God of War.
Zeus should have kept you where you belong. No matter how many gods fall, there will always be another to stand against you.
They will fall as well.
The death of Olympus means the death of us all.
Then prepare for your death, Poseidon.
Kratos kind of embodies the rage ability, using his anger to fight the gods that betrayed him. Kratos is a character haunted by his past. He's determined to punish the gods. He steals relics from them, from his defeated foes, to further his goal. And one of the core themes of Kratos is that his quest for revenge and rage, it hurts the people around him, hurts innocent people. Gets himself and others hurt. Asura from Asura's Wrath. He's more fueled by divine rage, determination to rescue his daughter. He's a fun character. I like Asura's Wrath. It's a good game. Both him and Kratos has that common denominator of not letting death stop him. So if you're playing a barbarian that kind of persists after death, I think some of these subclasses has abilities that let you rage even after you're down. So Kratos doesn't let death stop him, neither does Asura. They both climb out of Hades or the Death Realm after being defeated in battle, which is fun. Bit overpowered for a D&D game, but with the right planning that works fine. My personal favorite trope from a video game so for a Barbarian is the Doom Slayer.
And those that tasted the bite of his sword named him the Doomslayer.
From Doom. The Doom Slayer wants to do one thing, and one thing only: kill demons. And that is what the Doom Slayer is going to do. No matter the cost, he's willing to use any tool, any advantage to kill fiends. So if you make a Doom Slayer Barbarian character inspired by him, he might not be interested in helping others unless it furthers his goal of killing fiends. And if you're building a player character like the Doom Slayer, he might multi-class suboptimally. He might take class choices suboptimally just to have more damage against fiends. Like he'd take enough levels into Ranger that you can have fiends as a favorite enemy just to deal more damage to fiends. He'd also take a level in Paladin just so he can smite to deal more damage to fiends. Things like that. So he might not be optimizing for any kind of balanced play just to kill demons. That's his only goal, is going to kill demons. Could be fun. And in the right campaign, like run a Doom Slayer character to Descent to Avernus. I think that would be fun. But that's my video game inspiration. I think there is of course others, but just like in the books, there are of course other examples. But these are my top 3. And there is my personal favorite from biblical myth, Samson. Now, Samson is given divine strength by his hair. So, Samson killed a lion with his bare hands. He massacred Romans with a donkey's jawbone, that kind of thing. So, he's a person of great strength, divine strength. So maybe Samson is a paladin multiclass. That's what I'd play that kind of character as. But if he is a paladin, his hair gives him his strength. So does he have the oath of hair? Oath of hair growth? Oath of non-cutting your hair? Oath of hair length? I don't know. Could be funny. And having that as a weakness as well. If something burns or cuts your hair, you lose strength. Or maybe you lose your ability to smite. That could be cool. In mythology, there's also a lot of examples. You have the Furies, the kind of all embody different facets of anger and rage and revenge. Megara, Alecto, and Tisiphone. I think they're described as in Dante's Inferno. They sit at the gates of this. They could be patrons as well. There are lots of gods of war and thunder gods and storm gods. They make good patrons for barbarians and good inspiration for barbarian characters as well. Now, if you are trying to get inspired to create your barbarian, I suggest listening to some music, and of course, it's metal all the way. Metal. That's what I listen to if I'm thinking about barbarian stuff. Honorary mention to Eternal Champion. Their Armor of Ire soundtrack. That's my barbarian go-to. I hope you got something out of this list. Hope maybe you found something to read. Maybe you found something to watch. Maybe you found some inspiration for a character. If you're watching. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day. Have a nice week. And I'll see you later. Bye.